making a folk horror comic. It's just going to be a little short one, and I thought I'd just explain a little bit where the inspiration for that has come from. So it's the middle of May at the moment, which I feel like is sort of prime folk horror season. Like spring is here, it's like new life. The landscape is changing, it's all like bright and sunny. And the main thing that's sort of set off this idea is I went to see a talk recently called The History of Folk Horror. It's through something called Seed Talk. They do like a variety of different talks around England. And I saw this one come up recently. I thought it sounded really interesting. So it was done. I'm just looking at my notes to remember everything I wanted to say. But it was a talk done by Professor Joan Passy or Pacey. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce her name. But it was really, really interesting. She was super knowledgeable and like enthusiastic, which I think really helps with any talk, but especially like something like that where you're taking in like lots of information. Yeah, so I saw that a couple of weeks ago. And then also last weekend, I went and saw the movie Hokum, which is the third film by Irish director Damien McCarthy. So he also did Caveat and Oddity, which I think they could both be classified as folk horror, I think. Sort of all those things combined together, I was feeling really inspired to make my own story. So at this point, I have just done the rough thumbnails and drawn out the background that's going to be throughout the comic. So I'm going to have it as like a static one shot where all the action is going to be happening within this like set frame. So the background doesn't need to change. I think I quite often overthink like how I'm going to make a comic, like thinking about, how should I draw the panels? Like how do I tell this story visually? Because obviously like when you're just doing an illustration and it's just like one image that conveys everything that you want, I find that easier, but I'm very much a novice with comics. It's something that I enjoy reading and I'd like to make more of my own. Like I've made a couple of like really short ones before and I've made zines as well. So I thought this would be like a fun challenge to make myself actually create a comic. It's nothing too long, quite a straightforward story. I've got it all in my head. And it's just fun thinking of like the motifs in folk horror, like what I want to get across in this. And also I found like even from like doing the thumbnails to this initial stage, as I've worked along, I've had like different ideas of what to include or like how I want to present the story. So that's quite fun because when you just have an idea in your head, like for me, I feel like you can only get so far, but once actually start either writing ideas down or start like drawing it out, it starts to come together. So yeah, so in this video, if you're interested, you can see my process for making this comic and how it's going to turn out from initial thumbnail sketches to the final thing. Also, let me know if you've got any folk horror recommendations, like some of my favourites. So I love The Ritual. So that was a film that came out, it was probably like 10 years ago now. That's great. That's really, really good. One about a group of friends who go hiking in, I want to say it's like Norway or Sweden. I can't remember. But the monster design in that is amazing. It's so good. And just like the creeping tension throughout, it works really well. Then, yeah, Hokum I saw the other day, and the other Damien McCarthy films, they're really good. I'm trying to think if I've read any folk horror. I must have, but I just can't think off the top of my head. Oh yeah, Midsummer, that's another one that's popped into my head. But anyway, yeah, instead of me just listing off the folk horrors that I can think of, let me know if there's any that you can recommend down in the comments. Okay, enjoy. Speak to you later. So I thought I'd finish this vlog off by just showing you the final comic. I didn't film much more of myself actually working on it than you see here, but basically after I'd done the bits in Procreate, I put it all together in Photoshop. I think the way I did it was probably a bit of a long-winded way of doing it, but at the time I was kind of just working it out as I was going along. But yeah, I think doing anything like this is always quite a good learning experience and figuring out more efficient ways of creating a comic in the future. So yeah, I'm happy with how this turned out. Okay, so I'll just flick through the pages on the screen just to give you enough time to have a little read through it. But if you wanted to look at it in more detail, you can find this comic on my Instagram. I'll just put the handle here. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. I might just flick through the comic as I'm talking, so maybe I've finished showing it at this point. I'm not sure. I'll see how it looks in the edit. But anyway, yeah, thank you for watching this video. Yeah, let me know if you're interested in sort of process videos, process vlogs, sort of more behind the scenes sort of stuff, and like how I create my work. Yeah, if there's anything else, like I at the moment I'm quite enjoying doing a mix of stuff on these vlogs, sort of see what takes my fancy and what I am working on at the time I am filming. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye.